Well, we're in the King Orry room and now joined by the Chief Minister. Although we have a blank sheet as such, which is great because it gives us a chance to have a chat. Clearly, the fraud case that's been going on in Douglas East that touches at the very heart of democracy, apparently, in the Isle of Man, £3 million and counting.
Well, that's an estimated figure which has been bandied about at the moment. I have no confirmation of what that figure is. I have already checked, but it's still too early to actually finalise that amount. But whatever the outcome, it's going to be a very expensive exercise. I understand there have been up to 7 QCs employed on, whilst a very important case, we have to question why so many QCs, very, very expensive QCs, should be brought in for something which I would have thought could have been dealt with locally.
Well, I went there the first day and I thought it was in some sort of, I don't know what, it was a major event. I mean, of course, not taking away from it, it obviously was a pretty important case.
It's a very important case. It's the first case of its type that I'm aware of, anyway, in my political lifetime, and I hope we will not come across anything like this again. But it throws up two issues. Obviously, the way the election has been handled and the abuse of the system, which clearly has been identified, but also it highlights the concern that I've had for a number of months now, years in fact. One of the first things I did when I took over as Chief Minister was to instigate a review of the criminal justice system, and Mr. Watterson, as Minister for Home Affairs, has now more or less completed that. That is largely because I've been concerned about the workings of the court, the cost of running the court, the speed of dealing with cases. I think there are questions raised around this particular case in relation to those more general things, quite apart from the core issue of election fraud.
You talk about the meltdown in the perceived meltdown in the Attorney General's offices.
Well,
court cases have taken a long time.
They have, and as I think you're probably aware, I also initiated a review of the workings of the Attorney General, the Attorney General's office, and in particular the Prosecution Service. So those two reviews coming together, and they are both completed or very near completed now, ought to help us put the criminal justice system on a far more effective and sustainable basis for the future.
Okay, I mean that £3 odd million though, it does seem, back to that just briefly, an amazing amount of money, and it's gone to QCs, hasn't it? Yes. Queen's Counsel in the UK, and you're giving us the idea that you might look at this in some way.
Yes, I very much hope so. I can't really comment specifically until I know what the final outcome of all this is. And of course, the court case itself hasn't finished its course yet, because there may well be appeals at the end of it, so that may alter the outcome. So I don't want to really comment too much on the case itself, but I am concerned about the time it's taken to get this to court, the costs of it, and the way we handle this sort of thing.
So you'll report back at some point, will you?
It's most important that everyone has fair access to justice. I must emphasise that. But it has to be justice in a measured way, not at any cost, as it would appear we have been confronted with now.